In this video, I am going to show you how to create a wire sculpture. On the white paper, I am going to use green, orange, and black markers to show you how I'm going to construct the wire figure before I actually do it. You are going to need your wire that we have pre-cut from last class. You're going to need your pencil that does not have not sharpened and no eraser on the end, and then you're going to need to have 3 markers, large markers, not the skinny ones. So to get started, I am going to use my green marker, and I am going to just use the green to show you my marker and my pencil tool. So I'm going to use the marker cap. So I'm going to start with the marker cap, and then I'm going to place my wire. So the end of my wire is sticking out here somewhere, and then I'm going to hold this wire to the marker cap, and I am going to basically go 3 or 4 wraps up with 1 or 2 wraps down, and then the wire is going to come out to the side, making it look like the bone structure of my arm. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So here's the cap of my wire. I'm going to find my end for my wire, and then I'm going to take my wire, place it along the top of the cap. I'm going to hold it, and it's okay if you hold it from a side so that this doesn't pinch you. And basically I'm going to start, well, this one looks like I'm starting at the top, so it's okay to start at the top. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, coming down. Now, I normally wouldn't be doing this on my table. I would normally be doing this sitting down with my wire kind of hanging between my legs. And then I'm going to pull this marker out so you can see that I have kind of that arm structure. So this, what we just did, is the head, and now we're coming across and we're going to make the arm structure. So the next thing that we're going to do is, with our wire, we are going to decide how long we want the arm. You're then going to bend your wire up on a 90-degree angle. You're going to make a loop, and then you're going to, holding these 2 wires here, we're going to twist the loop to make a twist here, and that twist is going to become the wrist. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to decide how long I want that arm to be. Again, this is the bone structure. I'm going to go 90 degrees. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to hold those 2 wire pieces together, and I'm going to twist. Now, don't worry if your head starts twisting, it's wire, so you can always fix it. Next step, you're going to take your pencil, and you're going to place your pencil inside the hand and bring your pencil all the way down so it goes to the other side of the head. We are then going to take the wire, and we're going to wrap this wire around both the pencil and the bone structure, and we're going to wrap probably 12 times. It's important that you keep the count, because if I say 12 times and you're wrapping 24 times, then you're going to run out of wire for your figure. So try and stay 1 or 2 wraps within my count. Once you've wrapped to the other side of the head, we're going to bring this arm out to do the other side. So here we go. Here's my pencil. I'm placing my pencil inside the loop if I can. I'm going to use my hand here to kind of hold this down. It's okay if this swings around. It's wire, so again, you can fix it. So you'll notice that the arm is swinging around. I'm going to go there, 1, 2, 3. See if I can get this wire out of the way so maybe you can see this a little bit better. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I want you to notice is how I'm going underneath the head, and I'm stopping all the way on the other side. So the other side stopping over here. Now be careful you don't wrap too tightly, because if you wrap too tightly, you're not going to be able to get the pencil out. So we're going to pull that pencil out, and now we are ready to start the next arm. So we're going to take that arm, we're going to bring it out, and we are going to measure it so that it's the same length as the other one. And basically, we're going to repeat what we just did here. We're going to repeat it on the other side. Now, I know it looks like I'm running out of paper here, so I'm going to stop it here. Here's my bend, making my loop, twisting. We're pretending these arms are the same length. I'm going to take my pencil, I'm going to put it through the loop. Now the trick for this one is, because I have these previous loops here, I can now take that pencil and I can thread that pencil back through the loop. So your pencil may be ending over here. And then I'm going to take my wire, I'm going to wrap again around both the pencil and my wire for my bone structure. And then I'm going to have the wire come down, and that's going to create the spine. Okay? That's going to create the spine. So here we go. Here's my wire figure. I'm coming out, making sure that I have approximately the same length. I'm going to bend up. I'm going to create a loop. And it's okay if it's easier for you to do this side. It doesn't, for me, I'm right-handed, so it's easier instead of working over here to flip it. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to twist that wire. So there's my wrist. I'm going to take my pencil. I'm going to put my pencil through. And now, like I said before, I'm going to place the pencil into the previous loops. That's going to help kind of stabilize that wire, make it easier to wrap. So let's get these out of the way. I'm then going to hold this side, and again, don't worry if your arm kind of loops around and wraps. It's wire, it's okay. I'm going to wrap the 10 times, maybe 8 or 10 times, whatever you think it takes. Maybe I would probably do no more than 12. And again, I want to wrap to the other side of the head. So I'm going to be kind of overlapping some of these loops. Okay. I'm going to pull the pencil out, and here's my spine. Okay. Now, for the next step, we need to create the body. So for the body, you're going to need your 3 markers. You can set aside your pencil. You can do 3 markers, and you're going to have your 3 markers, and your 3 markers are going to come down stacked like this, and your caps are down at the bottom. Okay, your caps are facing the floor. So watch me. This part's a little bit tricky. This is the part that is the hardest part for students to get, so please watch. It does not matter whether the wire is on the outside of the markers or inside the markers, but I'm kind of putting them together so they kind of make a triangle of sorts, so that you can see kind of the width of the body, the circular circumference of the body. Now watch how I hold all of this. Okay, I am going to take my hand. Now I'm right-handed, so I'm going to wrap with my right hand. And if you're left-handed, you're just going to kind of switch, and you'll wrap. You'll hold it this way, and you'll use the other hand. You'll just mirror image. So I'm going to take my pinky. Between my pinky, I'm going to put the head between my pinky and my ring finger, and then I'm going to put my middle finger and my pointer finger above the markers, and my thumb wrapping around the bottom. By doing that, you can see that I'm holding everything together so it's stable. So then I'm going to go in and I'm going to wrap starting right above the marker caps, and I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to switch sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4 up, switch sides, so I'm holding this together now, and then I'm going to wrap all the way up. Now the trick on this is I want to make sure that I'm wrapping all the way up, literally right where these wraps are up here. So I don't want to stop here. I want to keep going until I'm all the way at the top, almost literally above the markers. Okay, just like that. Do not pull the markers out, because there's an important step we have to do right now. Right now, if we were to pull the markers out, we'll notice that our shoulders, our arms, and our head are not really attached to our body. So I'm going to use this orange marker, and we're going to do what I call across your heart. So we're going to wrap the wire so it goes across, and it's going to look something like this. So I'm basically going to take the wire, and I've done my wraps coming up, and now I have the wire kind of coming out my armpit. I'm going to wrap it around the back, and I'm going to come up over the shoulder, wrap around the back. I might have to bring it back to the front, up over the shoulder here. So are you kind of seeing across your heart here, that X that you're creating? That's going to attach this. We need to make sure we pull nice and tight when we're wrapping over the shoulders. I have seen students, and I'll use a pencil for this, I have seen students where their wraps are really loose and they end up with extra wire that looks like that. You do not want that. okay? You want to make sure that your wraps are nice and tight on the shoulders. So here I go. I'm going to wrap around to the back. I'm going to come up over the shoulder. I'm going to pull down nice and tight, wrap around again to the front. I'm going to go up over the opposite shoulder, pulling nice and tight, and then I'm going to do maybe 2 or 3 wraps coming down to the bottom. So just the bottom where I started. Make sure you wrap down. Don't stop your wraps up here. Once you do the cross your heart, make sure you wrap down so you're ending at the bottom. Once you've done this, you can pull your markers out. And now you have your neck and your shoulders connected to your body. And the next step we're going to do is we're going to take that and we are now going to create the legs. So if our legs are out, or not our legs are out, our markers are out of our body, our next step is to take our wire. So let's just say this is our waist. And we know that from the waist to the bottom of our feet are longer than the waist to the top of our head. So we're going to take this wire and we're going to make our first leg going down. And again, you want to make sure that your legs are long enough. So make sure you don't make your legs too short. You're going to do the same thing we just did on the arms, only now with the legs. So I'm going to bring that wire down, decide how long that leg's going to be. I'm going to make a 90-degree angle. I'm going to make a loop. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to twist. And then I'm going to use my pencil, again, through the foot and up along the side of the leg as my bone structure. I will then, just like I did with my arm up here, I'll take that wire and I will wrap that wire 10 to 12 times coming up. I will bring the wire over straight across right here, and then I'm going to bring the wire back down, match the height, or the length I should say, of my other leg, come across, make my loop, and twist. Stop there because I want to show you a trick for the next leg so that this leg is not in the way. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So here's my wire. I'm coming down, deciding how long I want my leg to be. From my waist to the bottom of my feet should look longer than the waist to the top of the head. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to bend. That looks about right. I'm going to make my loop. I'm going to twist, and I'm going to place my pencil inside and up. And if I have enough room, I might put my pencil inside my body just to kind of help hold it. I'm going to start here, and I'm going to start with my wraps. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch hands if you need to. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, it doesn't matter if this foot ends up being a right foot or a left foot. That does not matter at this stage of the game. So I'm going to go ahead. I've bent this little foot back. I'm going to pull that pencil out. There's my foot. And I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other leg. Twist. Now, this is where I had you stopping. So if I were to put my pencil in here and up in here, when I start wrapping, this leg is going to get in the way. So to keep this leg from getting in the way, I'm going to take this leg and I'm going to give it a high kick. I'm just going to kind of get it out of the way there. I'm going to give it a high kick, and then then it's out of my way. I can hold this and I can do the second leg. Now when I wrap up, I'm going to wrap this all the way up. Again, my 10 to 12 times. And you can see that I'm kind of working around the figure, bringing it all the way up to the top, and I'm going to have it come out, my wire is going to come out the waist, okay? I can bring this leg back down again, and you're going to notice, you see how my legs are not connected to my body? Well, now I'm going to need to connect them. So I'm going to pull that pencil out, and I'm going to do the next step, and I think I dropped my orange marker, which I did. Whoops. So I'm going to do the next step, and I'm basically going to do what I call a diaper. So what you've done now is you've kicked this out of the way. You've hopefully have your pencil along here. You've wrapped all the way up close to the body as possible, and you have your wire coming out the waist. So now what's going to happen is you're going to wrap the wire, and you're basically going to do what I call a diaper. So basically you have the cross your heart up here. You're going to do the same thing down here, making sure that you wrap, and making sure that you wrap tightly. So you're going to take this, you're going to go around the body, come down between the legs, nice and tight, pull tight, or wrap around the body, down between the legs again. So here we go. This is how we're going to finish our figure. So here's my wire coming out my waist. Okay, I'm going to wrap nice and tight around the body. I'm pulling. I went around the body, around the back. I'm coming down between the legs. I'm pulling tight. I'm going to wrap around the body again. I'm going to come down between the legs again, pulling tight. Okay, so you can see how I've got kind of two hooks down there. And then I'm going to wrap around the body maybe 2 or 3 times. At this stage of the game, if you don't have wire cutters, or you don't need to see me for wire cutters, one of the things you can do, if you keep bending wire, just like any other wire, it will snap. So if I take my wire and I just bend my wire back and forth and just keep going back and forth enough, the wire is going to heat up, it's going to weaken, and it will break. So there you go. Okay, the next thing you're going to do, you're going to take your wire, that end, we just don't want it to be sharp, so we're going to make that wire into a little bit of a loop, and then I'm going to take it and I'm just going to tuck it into the body, and that little loop kind of becomes the heart of your person. Okay, so now you have created your figure and you're ready to build your wire sculpture. The extra wire that you have, you should wrap like this. If you can pull it into a smaller loop, that would probably be good, because it just makes it kind of easier to carry. And then what I would do is I would take your end, and I would take one end and wrap around this way. Take your other end, wrap around this way, and then you will be using your materials to build your wire sculpture. I'm looking forward to seeing what you create.